Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we are looking at our very last video, as Nate just informed me, for 2022. We are bringing you our player props here on Friday, the 30th of December, to end this work week for you guys and this new year, bring in the new year with you guys as well. Definitely want to make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We are going to continue coming back to you in the year 2023, each and every weekday this regular season. Also want you to head to thelines.com. That's where we do have all of our great written content up there, including all these picks we talk about. Also have our odds finder tool. That's what Nate and I definitely use each and every time we use this video. Make sure we're finding the best odds and available for you guys across those U.S. sports books. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into our player props here on this 9-game slate tonight to end the year. Give us your first one, Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I almost fell out of my chair when I saw these props for Giannis. I mean, 35.5 points, which Luka hasn't gotten all year. Luka's a more reliable scorer, 55.5 PRA. And I guess, monster line last time out, for sure. 45, 22, and 7 against Chicago, a team that he just owns, like Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears or whatever.
Yes.
Much different situation against Rudy Gobert and a Wolves team that's no longer just going up and down, just going to play at a crazy pace. I mean, their pace is 99.8 on the road versus 102 at home. They allow the 7th fewest paint points. And when you look at Giannis's last two against Boston, against Brooklyn, teams that are also top 10 in paint defense, he's averaging 26.5 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. That's nowhere near 55 PRA. I'm not saying he can't get there. I mean, he could easily get you 20 rebounds and get you there. But I think it's a fine bet on the under, even with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton out. The Bucks are getting hotter from the three-point line. Other teams are collapsing. They're making Giannis kick it out and then making them swing it around and have other people beat you. And they're deeper now. They're healthier. They have guys like Connaughton, Ingles, Grayson Allen, whoever, who can actually get buckets. It's not like it's just Drew and Chris and then, in Giannis. It's not like Giannis's massive usage rate is because those guys are out. I mean, even when they've been in, those guys have both been deferring to Giannis more. So I think it's kind of a misnomer to say they're out. He's going to shoot the ball 48% of the time or whatever he did against Chicago again. Because, look, his last 4 against Rudy, 27.5 points, 13-ish rebounds, 7 assists. That's good. That's still 47 PRA. And it's a 32% usage rate. His first one against Rudy Gobert's Wolves, 26 points, triple-double. But again, not 55 PRA. So I'm fine going under here, even though the odds aren't that great because it is such an astronomical number.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, the reason it is, by the way, it was 34.5 in that last game that they lost to the Bulls, as you mentioned, and kind of gave it up at the end, including overtime. But when you have a 42.5% usage rate over 2 games, the last 2 games, 38.5%, including the last 3 games. But the last 2, that 42% usage is terrifying. Like you said, 48% against the Bulls. He's basically shooting the ball half the time that, he's on the floor for his team. So let's throw the PRA in there. I mean, he did get the 34 last time. And it's the rebounds against Rudy that you hope, are a little bit less. Even if he does get the 14 boards, and let's say he does get 30 points, you're still looking at 44. I don't think he's getting 11 assists in that situation. So it's really about if he's going to get the points or not either way, to be honest. Points and rebounds are the things that you feel like you can stop tonight and you can control that for Giannis. So, you got to go under 35.5 points right now in a situation where, like you said, Rudy Gobert is at least out there to make him think about it. So I'm going to go over, as I heavily indicated in that Kangs and Jazz video that we have up for you guys as well, that Domantas Sabonis. You could go 20.5 points. You can go 42, 41.5 PRA. I would feel fine about both, mostly because he's playing Utah. You look at his last 5 home games. This is not a typo, Nate. He's got 21 points a game, 17 rebounds a game, 9 assists a game from the center position. The man is a one-man offense right now. I mean, he needs his teammates as well, the way he dimes up, but everybody's collapsing on him. All those rebounds, giving him a chance for kickouts as well. That's helped the Kings' three-point shooting go up. It's just a situation that he's already taken advantage of this season, not just against Utah, but you look at the other teams who have the worst paint defenses in the league, which is what Utah has, giving up the fourth most paint points on the road, giving up the second most rebounds on the road as well, giving up the fifth most second chance points on the road. You look at the other types of teams that play just like Utah, where they also, by the way, give up the most top 5 in giving up points, rebounds, and assists to centers is Utah. And so you look at the other teams just like that: the Lakers, Charlotte, Washington, Chicago. All 4 of those teams are teams that Domas has played in the last 5 home games that I mentioned to you. And at this point, in those games, 20 points, 17 and a half boards essentially. So I think there's plenty of reason to think that he's going to dominate. You talk about a blowout factor. I suppose it's somewhat in there to a degree because of how bad Utah is on the road. It's still only a 3.5 point spread, even though we feel very, very good about Sac winning this game. I still just think that there's plenty of opportunity for him to eat no matter what. If they're going to be winning this game, it's through his style of play. And that's why it's easy to think about the points and rebounds and assists altogether.
The name's Dumas. Remember that old commercial where the guy in the interview saying Mr. Dumbass? I don't know why I'm not really on board with this one. I think it's just like, I feel like it was almost a playoff situation against Denver, the home and home. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to suit up. I'm going to gut it out. Gives you 31, does not give you the typical peripheral stats against Joker and the Nuggets. I just don't think that they're going to need another heroic effort from him. I think the Kings are going to roll. I am concerned about a blowout, or I'm just concerned about them being like, you know what? We don't even need to play through you as much. We can use Fox. We can use these guards because Utah's just terrible. They're not even competitive on the road, and we can score however we want. So, I mean, I think he definitely can get there. 20 and a half rebounds, assists is also a thing when it comes to Sabonis. I mean, he can get a double-double without scoring. But I think the points are a little iffy. You never really know how much he's going to look for his shot. One guy who will be looking for his shot, though, of course, Zion Williamson. Love capping off the year with him. Love the matchup with him and Embiid going head-to-head. I mentioned in the game video, last time he faced the Sixers, he went for 37, 15, and 8. Last game for him, he had 43 and got to the free throw line 19 times against Minnesota. Just took over the game down the stretch. He's now scoring over 4 points per game and shooting 55% in the clutch. This game is a pick'em. It's expected to be close throughout. There's no blowout concern, although anything can happen in the NBA, of course. It could be a blowout. But at home, Zion gets to the line about 10 times a game. He shoots 64% from the floor. And he's scoring 26 and a half, which is exactly where the prop is. But it's just not always that competitive. It's not always like you need that much. And the Sixers, with their top 3 scorers back, Maxey is expected to play tonight. I like points here, and I think Zion is the absolute most reliable scorer in the game on either side.
Yeah, he is. Outside of Zion, it's been a little bit more of a score by committee. When he's in, it's definitely a bit more of him, higher usage, more points, play through him. My main point is Brandon Ingram hasn't been in there, and CJ McCollum hasn't really necessarily been as efficient on offense. Definitely the 3-point shooting lacking for him, which you always need at his size. So I think they're clearly playing through Zion as well, and the points is a great starting point for him tonight for sure. So. Let's go ahead and finish things off with a guy that we probably haven't taken advantage of enough, but he's been rounding into form as of late on the Hawks there. Mr. Trae Young, 27 and a half points tonight, or you could add about 10 assists there, 37 and a half points and assists combined. That gets you minus 105 there as well. So I think you feel like you can get a little bit more juice if you take the assists as well, where he's been doing just fine as well. And here come the Lakers on the road, which is what every team needs when they're trying to have fix their offense and create some solid efficiencies. 126 defensive rating for the Lake Show on the road, 124 points per game. This is over their last 6 that they're allowing. So we got a 242 and a half total tonight for a reason, with the Hawks also playing a little bit better at home. 36 and 12 the last time that he played the Lakers at home. That's 36 points and 12 assists. So you feel really good about that. Basically getting to the points and assists with his points. And in his last 5 overall, like I said, rounding into form, maybe not necessarily figuring out how to play with DeJounte Murray, but definitely figuring out how to play with, get his while DeJounte's on the floor. In his last 5 overall, we're talking about 30 points a game and 10.2 assists for Trae. That's on a 34% usage in 34 and a half minutes as well. So the other thing we've taken advantage of a couple times is the 3-pointers. You could look at him to get over 2.5 3-pointers made tonight. in his last 5 overall. We're talking about 3.6 threes made at a 46% clip. So still being super efficient with almost 4 threes a game on roughly like 9 attempts, right? So if he's going to continue taking those 9 attempts, you got to feel good about him hitting 3 of them and to add to either the points and assists or all of it, because I think you can expect a lot from Trae tonight against that porous Lakers defense.
I have a hard time not picturing like 30 and 10 in the box score, which is what he's averaging in his last 5. Yeah. Against the Lakers, who are just such a great team to target right now because they don't necessarily get blown out. They've got LeBron, who gives you 30 and 10 basically on the other side. They play extremely fast and they play zero defense. It's just like it's like an all-star game almost every time. It's like, yeah, let everybody get your stats. Let's bro hug and let's think about how LeBron can actually get on a or assist on almost everything. Because I can.
Yeah, 100%. And there's been a bit of an uptick in John Collins' pick and roll usage with Trae as well as of late, which has worked out really, really, really well in their last 3 games that they've been without Clint Capella, and John Collins has been coming to play as sort of that sidekick with Trae. So as long as he's got one other guy coming along with him, you love the assists in there as well for Mr. Young. And that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure to follow it along. Continue to like and subscribe to that page so you can check out all these videos that we're coming back with you guys in 2023. So have a great new year, and until we see you next, happy betting.